Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of the GoPlus inflatable fishing float review. I had to ditch the captain's hat, so sorry if you like that, but it's a little too windy now. It's starting to fall off my head. But so something that I'm noticing right off the bat is this is actually the second time that I brought it out. That first time that I came out here with it, I had a little too much weight and tackle and gear and that kind of thing, so I've learned not to bring out as much weight. All right. Also, I've learned that it's a lot better if you bring a paddle with you. I'm just using the some flippers right now, and it is kind of difficult to get around with the currents and whatnot. Like, I'm not having an awful terrible time with it, but as you can tell, I'm getting a little out of breath. So I would say bring a paddle with you. Definitely bring a paddle. That's all I got to say for right now. Let's go ahead and start fishing. Alright, so something that I found right off the bat is that you can use these little Velcro straps here on the ends. If you put them down over your rod, you can use those to help you keep your rod in place while you are paddling or using your flippers or whatever to get to where you would like to fish, so that you don't have to hold your rod while you do all of that. This is kind of a nice little feature. It puts it right in front of you. You can easily just grab it and start fishing. So I'd say that's a really nice feature when you're out on the water. I'm going to start out by just fishing around these pillars here on the bridge, and then also along the shoreline here. I don't see anybody else fishing it, like bank fishing it, so I'm going to say that it's fair game to go ahead and fish that. Just remember that if you're out on a boat, you know, try to be kind and courteous to those people, those anglers that are trying to bank fish, because they can't get out to all the water like you can. Alright, we're gonna start out the day with my tried and true trout magnet. I use these for literally everything. I've caught bass, bluegill, crappie. I've caught I just caught a drum last night. It was my first freshwater drum, so that was pretty awesome. I caught literally everything and anything on these, so that's what we're gonna start out with today. Also, if you are curious, my setup here, I'm using a Daiwa Samurai X. I'm using 65-pound braid with a 25-pound mono leader. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. It's pretty standard. We're gonna go out. Okay, first cast, and okay, I need to do a little bit better than that. Need to do a little better than that. Oh, he came off. Looked like we had a little bass on there, man. That's a shame. Oh well, at least we had something on. So I worked my way down this coastline here, and now I'm just kind of slowly making my way back. I've already cast down this entire coastline, and that was the only fish that we had, so I'm just kind of letting out some line, and actually got that guy while I was just trolling. So we're gonna keep doing that while I make my way back to the bridge, and then we're going to fish around the pillars at the bridge, because that sounds like a lot of fun. So I'll see you guys when we get there. Hey guys, so the wind has picked up quite a bit, so I'm going to actually make my way back to the shore and just continue on my day with bank fishing, because there's a trail that goes all the way around the entire perimeter of this lake. So I'll probably just spend my day bank fishing, because I gotta be honest with you, it's quite a bit of work fighting against the current here. So on our way back in, we're gonna go ahead and do the review, what I like about the boat, what I don't like about the boat, and then if I make it back to where I parked before I finish, then I'll just finish it up there at the car. All right, so the mesh here is really nice for helping to get your hooks out of the fish. You can kind of use it as a shelf for your different tools and stuff. Like I was adding some split shot to my line, and that helped out quite a bit. Having something to set like pliers down on, and setting my tackle box down on, and that kind of thing. So that's really nice. So the first time that I came out, in the pouch that's like back behind the boat, there's a little area where you can keep a bag or something like that. I have a waterproof earth pack bag, and you definitely don't want to put a lot of weight in that front pouch. The first time that I came out last week and was using the boat, I kind of put a lot of weight in the back there. I had the waterproof bag was inside of a different bag that had a bunch of pockets on. I had a bunch of tackle and gear and whatnot, weights and that kind of thing in it. I had all my GoPro stuff, all of my drone stuff. So you definitely want to pack a little lighter when you are out fishing on a little float like this. Okay, having a lot less weight in that back pocket, I guess it'd be the front pocket, whatever you want to call it. Having a lot less weight in there definitely helps with keeping your bearings with the boat, and having control over it when the wind picks up and that kind of thing. Another really handy thing to have, I'll show you here in just a moment, is one of these waterproof pouches for your phone. You can get these at Walmart. Mine came with something. I think they might have came with the flippers as like a complimentary little gift that they sent along with it. But that's really handy. I was using that to check the weather. When I noticed that the wind was picking up, I used that to get an idea of how much wind we're getting right now. And as you can see, it's quite a bit. The swell has really picked up, as well as the breeze, and when I checked it, it said it was about 10 miles per hour. So I would say if it's over like 7 mile per hour gusts or anything like that, then you probably don't want to be out on the water in one of these floats. Hopefully you guys can hear me well enough to get all this with the wind. If not, I mean, if I have to, I'll get some clips of it being out on the water, but then I'll just add in audio at the end while I'm editing it. And of course, as soon as I say something like that, the wind picks up even more. So I'll just go ahead and finish up this video with a little voiceover. There are really only a few more things that I would like to say, and so I don't think it'll take very long. An important topic that we need to cover is how easy it is to get in and out of the float when you are first launching and docking it. I'd say honestly it is kind of difficult to get in and out of it. Maybe it's just because I'm kind of clumsy, but I've basically fallen over while trying to manage the float, my gear, and myself. It's kind of a lot to manage, because you've got to make sure that you don't fall over. You've got to make sure that the float doesn't float away. You've got to make sure that you're staying kind of close to your gear, like your fishing poles on the shore, so that you can grab them after you get in. It's kind of a lot. Like, it's doable though. So you might find that you have an easier time with it, but keep it in mind, especially if you're older, or if you would be considered like at risk of hurting yourself by falling over, something like that. Just be cautious and conscious of your own limitations. Maybe the most important thing that we need to cover that you might not have thought about already is how easy it is to pee while you are in the float. Of course, you might be the type to go and dock, to put up your boat and then use an actual restroom. But if you're out in the middle of the lake and you gotta go, well, then you gotta go. All right. So how easy is it to pee while you're in the float? I found it was actually really easy. I was just wearing some shorts. The first time I went out, I was wearing some shorts, like basketball shorts. The second time that I went out, I was wearing swim trunks, and I found it was pretty easy to go while wearing both of those. I just pulled them down a little bit. I took aim and I just let it rip through one of the holes that you put your legs through, right? There are the two sections, the two openings that you can put your legs through, and that was just what I did. Just try to move away from it. Like if you have your flippers, try to paddle away, or if you have your paddle, use that. Try to get away from it while you do it, or else you're gonna end up sitting in a nice warm spot. And obviously it kind of goes without saying, if you are a woman or you have, definitely dock it and use an actual restroom, unless you don't mind the water getting really warm. For those of you who are concerned about how wet you will get while sitting in it, I am about 170 pounds and the water comes up a couple of inches on my butt and my legs. If you weigh more, then you should probably expect to sit a little bit lower in the water. So just kind of keep that in mind and dress appropriately. As for a live well, or some kind of way to keep your fish alive while you fish from the float, a small live well like a bucket or some kind of little basket could be placed in the mesh area behind you, behind the seat, but you won't really be able to fit anything too large. And also keep in mind, the more weight that you place in that mesh area just behind the seat, the harder it will be to get the float moving. You could use a stringer, but if you have a decent sized fish on there, then you're gonna be fighting the fish. He might be towing you around the lake. So I don't know. That's up to you whether or not you want to use a stringer. The last thing that I would like to touch on is actually two things: the backpack straps. They could be better, a lot better. They get the job done, and that's about it. Okay, don't expect anything too great or amazing or fancy. Okay. If you have a decent amount of weight in the side pockets of the float, you will definitely feel it while wearing the float on your back. The straps that come with the float can be replaced with any type of clip-on straps, as long as they are long enough to reach each hookup on the float. So that might be something that you decide, or maybe something that you should consider after trying out the factory set, if you don't like how those straps feel or how they perform. And that about wraps up my thoughts on the float. If you think I might have missed or overlooked anything, make sure that you let me know down in the comments. I'll try my absolute hardest to answer any questions that you might ask. So I helped you out, so try to help me out if you can by liking the video so that more people will see it, and by subscribing to my channel. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.